Today we're going to talk about transversals, parallel lines, and angle relationships. So first, when we're talking about this, we have two parallel lines normally with a transversal that intersects both lines. I'm going to go ahead and number these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the first thing that we want to talk about are vertical angles. Vertical angles are the ones that are across from each other. They share the same two lines. They look like they're kissing. So an example of a vertical angle would be angle 2 and angle 3. They are directly across from each other. Another example would be angle 1 and angle 4. Those are the vertical angles. All vertical angles are congruent. That means that they are the same size. So angle 2 is the same size as angle 3. Next, we have our alternate interior angles. Interior refers to inside of the two parallel lines. So we're talking about between these two parallel lines. This is called the interior. Alternate means opposite sides of the transversal. So this is the transversal, this line right here. So we want two angles that are on opposite sides of the transversal, but still inside of the two parallel lines. So this would be angle 4 and 5. Those are alternate interior angles, as well as angle 3 and angle 6 are alternate interior angles as well. These are also congruent angles. Next, you have your alternate exterior angles. We're still using the same definition for alternate, that it's on alternate opposite sides of the transversal, but now we're talking about outside of the parallel lines. So opposite sides of the transversal, but outside of the parallel lines, this would be angle 2 and angle 7, as well as angle 1 and angle 8. Again, these angles are congruent. We also have our corresponding angles, and there are a lot of corresponding angles. Corresponding means that they are in the same place on the other parallel line. So if I took this parallel line and I slid it down the transversal, what would happen was angle 1 would end up on top of angle 5, angle 2 would end up on top of angle 6, angle 3 would end up on top of angle 7, and angle 4 would be on top of 8. So that means that angle 1 corresponds to angle 5, angle 3 corresponds to angle 7, angle 2 corresponds to angle 6, and angle 4 corresponds to angle 8. And again, these are congruent. The last thing we talked about were straight angles. Straight angles are two angles that make a straight line. And these are going to be supplementary, so they add up to 180 degrees. Because all straight lines are 180 degrees. So there are several examples of this. You could have angle 2 and angle 4, angle 1 and angle 3. You could say angle 8 and angle 7, All of these are examples of straight angles.